Hi everyone, it's Kelly. I'm here today with the encouragement of my online friends to show some of my watercolor painting. Um, I'm a little disappointed because my house is in such a disorder. I can't find the portfolio that I put my best stuff in. So before I went into the hospital for my transplant in November, I had a portfolio. It was like a 17 by 20 inch portfolio with a whole bunch of pages where I put the stuff I like the most to keep it safe. I can't find it anywhere. But I do have a few things that we framed around the house that actually some of it I don't even like anymore, but I liked at the time, and I'm going to actually take out and frame some newer stuff. So I thought I could show you maybe a few of the things that I am able to find because they're in frames and either they were up around the house or they were just framed and sitting around the house, and now I want to put new art in. So I'll show you the old stuff that I'm taking out and you'll at least see something. So the first one that I'm taking out is this one. Now this is mostly going to be watercolor works. This one was one of the first paintings that I did of flowers, and you can see it's pretty basic. I really liked the combination of colors, and I had this frame sitting around with nothing in it, and so I put this up in our bedroom. But since painting, I've gotten better at doing more details in everything, in the flower leaves, in the petals, and even in the vessel and in the background. So I'll paint something else to put in here. This is something also that I painted. Now this is a complete abstract, and what I was going for is a different granulations. I was trying to get different colors to mix together and make different kinds of cool effects. So that was the point of this picture. It's actually, I had it more like this because I was thinking of it as like my spine and the nerves going out from my spine when I was painting it as an abstract. So I'm actually not sure if I'm going to take this out or not. It doesn't really have a place in our home, but I sort of like it. Maybe in a black frame will be better. Let's see. Oh, this, when I told my husband I was going to show a few of the things that I painted, he took this off of his desk. This was one of the first things I painted as well. I would watch different videos from different creators, and I will gladly can list them in the description. There's so many good watercolor teachers on YouTube. And there was one, her name was actually Denise Love, and she would do these abstracts. This is from a few years ago, where she would do the water. I think she's still doing it, but I haven't watched her lately. The watercolors and the doodles and all that on them. And so I did this, and Mark has had this on his desk. And the reason why I gave this for Mark on his desk is there's several places in this painting that the word love is written and hidden. So he has the word love coming out at him on his desk all the time. You can see there's one there. There's one there. They're in different places. There's one there. So that's was for him on his desk, and that one's going to stay framed. Here's another one that may stay framed. This is just some simple flowers that I did. And this is more getting into closer to the style of flower I'm doing now, where there's more interest in the color, more difference in the colors. The first painting you would have, if you noticed, the petals were basically all one color with varying amount of water. Now I'm mixing colors. I'm getting a little more complicated with my, what's it called, composition here. So this one I like enough probably to keep it framed. Let me just say this. I would highly suggest that even if I was just doing this for my mental well-being. I was not doing this to make money from art. I was not doing this to get praised for doing art. There was no other reason for me to do this art, but for help me manage my emotions. So a lot of the art I did is more abstract and just about managing the emotions, like this one I did, which I considered this my spine going down and the nerve shooting out. So there's a lot of paintings like that, and the goal wasn't to make things to hang in my house, but once in a while things would come out and I'd be like, that's sort of nice. Or a family member would see it and like it, and so I would frame it and give it to them. And I gotta tell you something, this is why this is this whole rambling. Get yourself, no matter what, if you're doing art for whatever sake, get yourself some frames. You can find them on sale. Like I would scout like Dick Blick, and you can go even to like Marshall's and TJ Maxx and Home Goods, and you can find frames for very inexpensive. And just get a few to have around in different colors and put your artwork in it. It is worthy and it will look so much better in a frame. So that's my little my little rant. Definitely I highly recommend for anybody, even if for no matter what you're doing it for, just processing emotions, frame some of your stuff. Even if it's just to put on your bedside table. I think looking at the art sometimes helps you process the emotions as well. I'm going to just pause the video now to see if there's anything else I want to show you. I know there's, oh yes, there is. I'll show you just another couple of things actually. I also worked somewhat with alcohol inks and acrylic inks, and this is a painting done with alcohol inks. So this is done with alcohol inks, and I think this is watercolor paint. The yellow I think is watercolor paint, and then this is a blue acrylic ink mixed with a granulation medium. And this I don't know, I just thought it was cool. I thought it looks like this looks like this could be like a tree here. It looks almost like this is one world and then this is the upside down. So I like that one. And again, that was done with this was done with, I think, yeah, acrylic ink with granulation medium for the blue. And this is done with alcohol ink. So I just wanted to show you a few different ways of doing things or different looks. So what I would do is I would put stuff, art materials in my cart on Amazon. This was back years ago. So I've been fighting multiple myeloma since for years, but I was finally diagnosed in 2018. And and I started some of this while I was still working, but after I had to stop working, I started a lot of this to handle my emotions. And so this is just alcohol ink and some gold alcohol ink pen. And I just made some flowers in here, and this is just just a playing around. So that's what alcohol ink looks like. It's like brighter, and for watercolor, I typically use watercolor paper, but for alcohol ink, I use this kind of paper typically. It's called Yupo. You can also find other paper like it that might be less expensive, It's like a slickery paper, and it's good for alcohol inks, and it's also good for the acrylic inks. But the acrylic inks you can also use on watercolor paper. Last but not least, this I'm going to put up on the community section, and anyone who wants to is free to take an image of this and put it up. I'm also going to try to make one where I put all of the words also in hearts. So this is I believe in the power of positive words, and the work of Dr. Emoto, who showed that positive words would make these beautiful images in water, where negative words would make really gross looking crystals in water. And we are mostly water. So I've made t-shirts with lots of positive words, the words that have shown the most positive. And I wear them at night when I sleep, even when I go out during the day. I think you've seen those t-shirts. If you go back and look at the videos of when I was in the hospital, I was wearing the shirts with all the positive words on them a lot. And a lot of them I tie-dye as well for all the colors. I love colors. So anyway, this was just something I did where I have all the positive words I could think of in balloons. And then I bouqueted a bunch of hearts out. I couldn't stop working on this, so then I outlined the bouquet hearts in silver. Then the balloons looked like they went to the background, so I outlined those in gold. But anyway, I'm going to put this image up, and I'm going to do it again where I see how the words are a little bit difficult to see. So I'm going to do it again, I think, with the words all in black and the words in hearts. I think that will be pretty. And so feel free to just, I'm going to post this. You can just print this up and put this up anywhere you want good vibes, because all these words are to put out good vibrations in wherever this image is. So this is just something I worked on just for the good vibes of it. So I think that's about it. I'm going to be getting back to, I'm looking to see if there's any artwork laying around to show you. I'm going to get back to putting the different pictures in the frames that I've been working on. Oh, here's one other thing I can show you before I go. I don't want to make this too long. This is, so I love doing this kind of work with the watercolors. And my friend Katie on her show today showed cards that she made with yes and no. And I'm going to make some cards actually with watercolor paper, because she got me thinking. This I made before. This I made to use with my pendulum. And you see here we have yes, yes, and no for my pendulum. And then I also did the letters, and you'll see like G and G is across from each other. So I worked really hard to make it so that you could also spell things out with the pendulum. And I've used this a few times for the yes and no. But I also like her idea of making the cards with yes and no. So, but when she showed her cards today, I was like, oh, I've got to show what I made to use with my pendulum. So this is what I made to use with my pendulum. And I also made, let's see if I don't know if I brought it down, but I had a huge piece of watercolor paper that I used to make the layout for the cross and to describe what each is in the tarot cross thing, just because I don't know much about tarot cards and I was learning them. And that's one thing I know. I grew up in a Christian household, and like we were told like tarot cards are from Satan and all that. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that they are. I believe that they're just whatever you want them to be. And so for me, I was learning about them and learning about the history of them and what they meant. And it was interesting, like the whole story of the Fool's Journey and everything. I just found them so interesting, and I was learning about them. So please, if you're Christian and watching this, please don't take that as anything to be worried or concerned about, because I know, unfortunately, you know, as growing up in that faith, I was, you know, taught to be fearful of a lot of things that we really don't need to be fearful of. You know, you keep God with you, and God is more powerful than anything else. And God is love. And I love you all so very much. And thank you for looking at some of my old art. I was hoping I had like a flower that I had more recently painted to show you. Oh, here's one I was doing. So I was doodling while watching Sinners. I had to paint while watching Sinners because it was so scary and dramatic. I don't know if you know what that movie is. It's a vampire movie. Highly, highly, highly recommend that you watch it. I was crying at several different parts. It is going to pull at your heart. It's very hard to watch, but I feel like, as a person who appears white and people think is white, and I'm Arab, but I tend to be white, it's something I needed to watch. I needed to understand as a person that does not have the perspective of didn't grow up in the perspective of an African American in this country. But anyway, as I was doodling, I made like a flower. And you see, even this one's only one color. So, but I'll come on some other time and I'll show you some of my more recent stuff that shows that I have improved in watercolor a little bit. But I just do it basically to enjoy it, and I hope that me showing you my stuff has helped you realize that you can just paint for fun as well. It doesn't need to be perfect. It can just be fun. And I love you all so much. Bye.